Hey,
What's up, everybody? This is Big Country coming live from Mad in America podcast with the Big D, Chris Demos.
woo.
Again, we're still new to this whole thing, so we're going to hopefully get Leonard Harkless to be able to pop in here. If not, we're going to have Leonard call in. What's up, Ike Ford? While we're waiting for people to pop in, we're going to shoot some invites out, I think.
Hey, Ray,
Hey, what?
how can you tell if you smoke too much weed?
You can never smoke too much
You
weed.
can never smoke too much weed. That's exactly right, just like I was telling you
And I'm a
earlier.
prime fucking example of that very thing right now.
That's right. That's why
Because
when
I
you.
am
That's right.
incredibly high.
Okay, Ray.
All right, I'm just going to end it there.
I
Let's
like my
see.
women the same as I like my whiskey.
What's up,
20
everybody?
years old and mixed up with Coke.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to see if Leonard popped on yet. Leonard.
Oh, is he?
Oh, man. What is Ray up to now? Ray is doing good, brother.
Ray is up to about a 30 on a 10 scale.
Ray is kind. Ray is fine.
Ray is
Extra fine.
kind fine.
Edit, but no, I don't need to create no fucking poll. How do I get Leonard on the screen? I think we're going to have to call Leonard.
Yeah, I thought you were going to call him.
I was, but I just want to try one thing.
Oh.
Okay, Leonard Harkless. Everybody laugh. Yeah. Whatever. All right, so we're just going to call Leonard.
All right.
What do we got? 6 sponsors so far. David Thornton, you have 6 sponsors so far? That's freaking amazing.
Sick.
All right, hold on, guys. Let me give Leonard a call. You gotta love the professionalism of this fucking show, the awesomeness of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's rather breathtaking, if you ask.
If you have unseen notifications, they are very unseen.
All right.
Oh, boy.
You guys hear the phone ringing?
I do.
Fucking idiot. Hey, what's up, Leonard? This is Ray, and this is Chris from Mad in America podcast. We're not intelligent enough yet to figure out how to actually pull your beautiful face up on screen, so this is going to have to do.
All right, that'll work.
So basically, Leonard, we're going to give you the show to tell us and fill us all in, at least what you're allowed to say to us. The big topic is what's going on with WAF and the banning of the officials and athletes.
Okay.
And the floor is yours.
All right. Well, I mean, it's kind of a shame that we've gotten to this point. You know, I took over the head referee duties for WAF in 2002, and one of my goals was to, in essence, referee a world championship with only master level referees. And by 2018, we've increased our roles up to 24 master referees in WF. And in reality, that means I was within 2 or 3 to be able to pull off what my goal was. And instead, WF has decided they're going to try to regulate everything. You know, as the head referee, I tried to stay out of the politics end of it and just deal with referee issues and things that really pertain to my area: rules, refs, tables, matches, that sort of stuff, and leave the politics aside because it's not really my thing, or it wasn't supposed to be my thing. And unfortunately, that wasn't enough. The current management of WAF really and truly wants to have their thumb on everything, and the IRPA came out. Mazarenko put a lot of time and effort into it, and the system will probably bring in a revenue stream, and that's where it got interesting, because you know there is a big demand for a credible ranking system where like it's not just somebody's personal opinion. That's the biggest problem with the current ranking system that Gavi and some of the others are doing, and nothing wrong with what they're doing other than the fact that it's a personal opinion on exactly who is better than who. Now, you take other sports like tennis, for instance. You know, the United States Tennis is set up to rank people, and it isn't based on somebody's opinion on whether you know this tennis person is better than that tennis person. It's all set up off of results and points and a very complicated system. Right. And that's kind of what Eager was setting up, or has set up, is a point system and an algorithm set up so it isn't just so opinion based, and there will be a lot of people wanting to be involved in that, and so it costs you $50 to be a member, right? Speaking be part of it. Speaking of that, it's going to create some revenue, isn't it? Probably close to 5,000-6,000 people are going to want to be part of that system. Well, do the math. That's a decent amount of cash. Right. And then like if you want your event to be a ranking event, you're gonna pay a fee to have your event be a ranking event. Well, that's gonna bring in money too. And so the current management at WF wanted a piece of that pie. So a couple of things. One, we have a question from Ike Ford. He's asking, outside of WAF, where could someone become certified as a referee? Well, I mean, Canada themselves. I think is Ike from Canada or from the U.S.? He's from the U.S. He's from Georgia. Okay, so here in the U.S., the United States Arm Wrestling Association, which is what Denise and I run, we certify our refs. We hold training sessions and we certify them. Bill Collins is the head ref for USAF, and he runs referee seminars and he certifies them. Basically, the two of us are the only two that are really running referee seminars now. You know, I've got other master referees in my system, Bob Koschel, Lou Pulcher, some others that can run the certifications for me. But basically, the two avenues of being a certified referee in the United States is going to come from Bill Collins or myself. Okay. And now I want to go back a little bit to where I first became aware that there was a shift within the ranks, I guess you could say, of the WAF. And that was when you were replaced as head official. And of course, like everything else, people had their opinions. There was rumors. I heard things that you were released because you made a bad call, to you were not paying proper dues. I mean, they're just a bunch of crazy things. So I would like you to clarify, if you're allowed to, of course, I'd like you to clarify on why you were suspended and
what are the steps you are taking to hopefully get back into the position you rightfully deserve?
Well, a very quick history. Back in 2013, I had an issue with the executive board wanting me to do something that wasn't in the rules. Part of my problem is that I'm not a yes man. And so even if your management, the president of WF, and you come to me and you tell me do X, Y, and Z, and if the rules doesn't allow me to do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. And so they almost removed me in 2013. So in 2014, I had a proposal presented to the WF Congress saying that elected officials can only be removed by a vote of Congress. And I'm one of 2 elected officials. And so I felt relatively comfortable that it would be a little more difficult for them to remove me. Well, then, last year come around, and again, the exec, Hassan, the president, was asking me to do things that wasn't legal, and I refused him, and it made him upset. His attitude, and he's personally told this to me, is I'm your father, you're my son, and you'll do what I tell you to do.
Yes.
And it just doesn't work that way for me, and so it causes conflict sometimes. And so he had an executive board meeting, and they illegally removed me from my position. And it was illegal. They didn't have the constitutional ability to remove an elected official. Only Congress can do that. So my only recourse for that illegal action is to present myself in Congress. Part of the problem with WAF is Congress has total authority when they're in session. But when they're not in session, then the executive committee kind of runs the show. And if they do something wrong, there's no recourse until the next Congress. And so
Right.
I have to present myself to Congress, present my case that they've done an illegal act, and that's separate from their so-called reasons for suspending me. And there's a series of things that they've said that I've done X, Y, and Z, and I have answers to concrete positions based off of the rules. And again, if you don't like my interpretation of the rules, the Constitution says it's my job to interpret the rules. If you don't like my interpretation of the rules, then change the rules. Make it clearer. Make it so it's not quite as gray where I have some latitude. If you don't like it, then change it. But you can't fault me for using my discretion in the rules, as I've always done. And so wherever the World Championship ends up happening, I have to present myself to Congress, present my case, and if I win my case, I'm the head referee again. If I lose my case, I'm not.
Now you say wherever we have the World Championships. It's my understanding that WAF has pulled the World Championships from Poland and is now hosting it in Romania. Kirill and Igor and Anna have been posting a lot about these various bans that WAF has put on officials, and I guess they're now extending it even to the athletes now, that if you compete in anything whatsoever connected to anything that they're doing, you're banned. How does this help the sport overall? I understand that WAF is trying to make a big push to get into the Olympics. But in order to do that, you need athletes.
First off, this Olympic talk about that's all a smokescreen. This has nothing to do with the Olympics.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with Sport Accord or GAISF. None of this has anything to do with that. Anytime, it's interesting. Anytime the execs want to justify doing something illegal or wrong, they just blame it all on inclusive in the Olympics or this, that, and the other. This had nothing to do with that.
Right.
This was strictly about money. It was about getting a piece of the Europa pie, and Igor wouldn't give it up. Now, as for banning officials and competitors, nothing in the WF Constitution allows for that. Nothing in the WF rule allows for that. They don't have the ability to do either of those two things. The only time that they can ban an official or a competitor is for doping control.
Right.
You pee dirty, and they'll start doing stuff like that. But short of that, every arm wrestler has the ability to associate with any individual, private corporation that they choose to. They do not have the right to do any of this stuff. Again, the problem is the WF Executive Committee is the president, the general secretary. You have North America, South America, you have Asia, you have Europe, you have Africa, and you have Oceania. And if you get four of those votes, you can pretty well do anything you want. And until, in my opinion, until the individual countries in those continental bodies demand their representatives to stand up and do what's right, then the executive committee is going to continue to run amok and do illegal action.
So, again, if you can answer this, in your opinion, what would your advice be to the athletes and to the officials that are being threatened or have already been banned from the WAF? Because it's my understanding that the officials and the athletes pay their way to go to Worlds. There's very little compensation to the officials, and what winnings that the athletes could win doesn't even come close to covering the cost of getting there. Now, I have a little experience with this, with sending Autumn to Russia in May, the cost it's to send her. So what would your advice be to the individuals that are being affected? Should they hold out? Should they cave in? Should they move on and go with what Igor is doing?
Well, I mean, it's a good question. Everybody has to make their own decision. But on the other hand, they can't ban everyone. And at a certain point, there's a tipping point.
Right.
So it just depends on the individual's intestinal fortitude. Again, they can't ban all the refs. They can't ban all the competitors. And eventually, at a certain point, everybody rises up and says, well, wait a minute now. This ain't right. Show me. I challenge Mircea or Hassan to give any justification from the constitutional rules for these actions, and it's not there. I've done that publicly on online, and no answer from them because I know the Constitution. I have copies of it. I know the rules. I've been enforcing it for a long time. There is nothing that allows them to dictate to you as a competitor or a referee who you referee with and who you compete with. That is totally against the way WF was set up in the very beginning. And so if enough arm wrestlers and associations and country heads and countries stand up to WF, then they won't have a choice but to back down.
So I guess my next question would be, if it's so blatantly obvious and open what they're doing is against the Constitution, how is it they've even been able to get this much ground to do what they've done thus far?
Because their continental representatives are backing what Hassan is doing.
Gotcha.
As long as they go along with what Hassan wants, and then until you hit Congress, there's nothing anybody can do. And see, it gets even worse than that, because one of the things that Hassan is trying to do, he's trying to set it up to where he can survive Congress by making, well, let's say you're from Norway, right?
Uh-huh.
And you decide that this isn't right, and you're gonna attend a NERPA event. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Well, then Hassan officially says that you're not in good standing. So now, when Congress happens, because because he's deemed you not in good standing, you can't vote.
Ah.
And so you can't vote against him. You can't vote him out. Now, where it becomes problematic is if he does that to enough people and they come anyway, and they actually have like a come to Jesus meeting, so to speak. Things will change, but he's trying to set it up to where he isn't even meeting resistance. Now, where there's a further wrinkle. Now, in the U.S., being a member of Sport Accord means nothing to us. We
Right.
don't get a penny out of anything by being a member of Sport Accord.
Now, can you explain for
You
people
know.
who might not know who Sport Accord is, exactly who and what?
Well, Sport Accord is the precursor to Olympics. Every sport that's in the Olympics is also a member of Sport Accord.
Okay.
GAISF. And so you have to be a member of that to get into the Olympics. It doesn't mean you're getting into the Olympics, but you do have to be recognized by that body as a legitimate sport.
Gotcha.
And there's hoops you have to run through to be a member. You have each country that's a member of your organization all has to be a nonprofit, and that doesn't mean that your nonprofit can't interact with companies for profit. It just means that your association has to be nonprofit.
Right.
All right. So here's the bottom line: in Europe, those countries all have sports ministries.
Okay.
We don't. And so because they have sports ministries, if your sport is a recognized sport, you get X number of dollars. If your sport is recognized by Sport Accord and GAISF, you get 10 times the money for your sport. So, like when this was all started, when we're all working toward getting toward the Sport Accord, I talked to David Ellerstein with Norway. He said Norway's sports ministry gives Norway's Arm Wrestling Association about $5,000 to run the organization. That's nice, all right? He said as soon as we become Sport Accord, we get $50,000. Now, that's a sizable difference. And so right now, that's where a lot of the teeth gnashing and the worrying about it is if your country becomes not recognized by WAF, what happens to your funds that you're helping your athletes travel and train and money for medals and all those things that's happening with all those European countries that we don't get and Canada doesn't get.
Gotcha. So, at the end of the day, Leonard, where does the future of the WAF stand in your opinion?
Now, the future of WAF is going to live or die on whether the African continental representative stands up and does what's right, whether the Asian continental representative stands up and does what's right, whether Oceania actually gets in the game and go, wait a minute now, this isn't right. Whether I got pretty, our North American representative, I don't have any insight in how he's voting because that's all secret, but I have confidence that Simon is an upright guy. And is South America going to stand up and do what's right? Is some of these continental reps, even Europe for that matter? I mean, Attila from Hungary is the representative for Europe. If enough European countries come to him and say, "Look, stop this! Don't let this continue." Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's what Hassan is doing. He is wanting to rule this like his own personal company, and that's not the way it's supposed to work. So if the continental reps stand up and stop just following blindly to what Hassan is doing, then it'll turn out right, and if it doesn't, it's going to be ugly for a while.
So Ray Mosley asked, let me get back there. Ray Mosley asked, how do we set up our own governing body focused on Olympics and drawing fans to generate revenues instead of charging the competitors?
Well, you know, two entirely different questions. First off, he's talking about the Olympics. In my opinion, as I like to quip in my never to be humble opinion, WAF and pretty much the arm wrestling bodies kind of messed up about 2001 or so, 2001, right in there. We actually had the Olympic Wrestling Association interested in including arm wrestling as one of their disciplines.
Right.
What a lot of people don't realize is that most, like 95, 98% of all these new sports that come into the Olympics, they're not coming in on their own dime. They're not coming in on their own name. They're coming in through somebody else, like trampoline. Okay, there's a trampoline in the Olympics. Well, how did that get in there? How did trampoline get in there? Well, it came in through the gymnastics, because each individual sport has total control over what disciplines they present to the Olympic Committee as part of their sport. And once they're in, and they have control over how many disciplines and what they are. And so the wrestling actually could have said arm wrestling is a discipline of wrestling. And we could have came into that. And our executive board that we had at the time, which is different than now, so I'm not throwing stones at this current one. They were afraid of giving up power. They were afraid of giving up control, and they passed on it. And if we're ever in the Olympics, that's how it's going to come in. We are not getting into the Olympics all on our own dime with our own name. We don't have the money or the TV audience to come in that way. We'll have to come with somebody else.
Right.
Now, if he's talking about, how do we increase attendance in the U.S. and getting audience participation and stuff like that, continue to put on events in good venues, continue to put on events where you have a good audience, and there's not much else we can do about it. I mean, even the few times like WL has done video and things on TV, they to be honest, they've never really presented it. It's not about rules. It's not about tables. Savan Matosian filmed the 2004 Unified National in Rising Sun, Indiana. Full-blown WF rules. No fancy nothing. No special tables. No changing of rules. Nothing. And it was the highest rated arm wrestling show that they had on TV since the Wide World of Sports. And why is that? Because he presented it about the people. He picked arm wrestlers and went and showed all of their different matches as they went through and interviewed all those different people. And it was about the people as much as about the matches. And it was great ratings. It had nothing to do with the rules. It had nothing to do with weird tables and all the rest of that. It was about how it's presented. And we had great ratings off of that. Everyone wanted to know about that jerk from West Virginia, Travis Badge, and everybody. That's where Todd Hutchings came up with the line that you needed a lawyer to get a grip with the guy from New York. I mean, it was great lines and great interview skills, and that was great. Great results. People talked about that for years afterwards. That's where Travis got his start, was off of those interviews.
Right. And, you're not the first one to bring up Travis. Like him or hate him, Travis does bring attention to the sport, whether you agree it's good or bad attention. Some would say any attention's good attention. But now that I have you, and we're bringing up different factors, I want to bring up something that you posted up and you've been getting a lot of flack over the past 24 hours that I've seen. And that is the decision to go to an open women's class for next year for the Arnold. And I know that there's been a lot of ladies speaking up like they always do, but never show up. So while I have you on here, Leonard, would you like to speak a little more on that and verbally express why you're doing what you're doing?
Well, it's frustrating for me because I have advocated for the women for a lot of years at the Arnold, and when we people forget that Denise and I do not have control over that event. We run it for the Arnold, but they dictate to us exactly how it's going to happen. So if we want to add a class, we need to petition and get permission. And so when we first came in, the ladies class there was 4 men's classes, and the ladies class was 132 pounds and under. That was it. You didn't make 132 pounds, you weren't pulling at the Arnold. And we don't really run a 132. And so the first thing we did is we moved it to 143. Then kind of opened it up a little bit for some more women, but I still wasn't happy with it. And Joyce King came to us and said, I'll sponsor the weight class, because the other thing that they demand, and it's nice, is that every class that we do has to all pay the same amount of money. So there's no adding a ladies class for just medals, or there's no adding a ladies class for half of the prize money. Every class that we add, we have to get the full $1,400 that we're giving out.
Right.
So Joyce said, I'll sponsor it. And she did sponsor for a couple of years, and we got permission to go to 176. And that was not an easy sell, frankly. But she sponsored for a couple of years, and then she stopped sponsoring, and then we picked up the other, the extra 1,400 sponsorship. But oddly enough, some years we'd have 7 or 8 in the lightweight, and only 2 or 3 in the. Or actually, I don't think we ever dropped below 3, but we'd have 3, sometimes 4 in the 176, and then sometimes we get a few more in the 76, and then the lightweight would go down. We've never really had any kind of success having both of those being weight classes, and we've struggled for a number of years on justifying the money and expense of running 2 ladies classes, but we've gone along with it. But this year was the final straw. When you get 2 ladies in the lightweight registered, and I think we had 7 in the 176. So we had an okay draw in the 176. Mm-hmm. But you only get 2. At some point, you got to just go, all right, I give up. It is what it is. We just can't fill 2 of them. And so then your decision is, all right, do I just do a 176 and below, or do I lobby to do a ladies open? Because I've had ladies open complaining to me for a number of years, and I understand. I'm sympathetic to the fact that not everybody can make 176. And so my decision was then, all right, do I lobby to do a 176 and below and ignore the ladies open again? Or do I just say, we're just doing ladies open? And there's plenty of events around the country that there's ladies open. And so that was my decision. Now, ironically, I got just as many ladies open complaining that I got rid of the lightweight, really without much appreciation that I added their division to it.
Right.
So it's been pretty frustrating for me, and frankly, I'm about ready to just be done with the whole damn thing. So last couple of days have been very, very trying for me in that area.
Well, I mean, as you know, Autumn competed in arm wrestling for about 3 to 4 years. Ultimately left the sport because of politics and just the childish bullshit that she was enduring being in the sport. So because of her and being on the promoter end, Me personally, I threw 3 events where I paid women either exact equal amount, dollar for dollar, or within $100 of what I paid men. My first event, I got 7 women. I didn't combine weight classes. I paid what I said I was going to pay. Because I thought my next event, I would get far more women. Second event, I got 3 women. Paid what I said I was going to pay. My final event, I got 5 women, including my wife and somebody I pulled out of the audience, and still paid what I said I was going to pay. So on a promoter's point, I totally understand it's not worth it. On a fan base point, I love watching women arm wrestle. I think they're far more entertaining. But again, it on a business point, it's not worth it. So I guess one of the biggest people speaking out against it was Deb Beninin, who I have a lot of respect for. But again, being a spectator of a athlete that also competed at the Arnold in an open women's class, it didn't matter that she damn near broke world records. She was so light compared to the other women, her list didn't even come close to even putting her anywhere near top placement, which we knew going in, but we didn't think it was going to be that much of a difference. So a lot of people are saying if you gave it another year and women didn't show, then that would be justification to stop.
See, and I understand that thought, but last year we had 5 and 5.
Right.
We gave out $2,800 in ladies arm wrestling last year at the Arnold, and got 10 total entries. So when we went from that, and like I said, we've had years before that where there was only 3 in a class. I mean, it's not like this is a anomaly. This has been an ongoing every year. Either the lightweight or the 76 have had issues. And at a certain point, like everybody can say, well, just give it one more year. Well, actually, in reality, we've been giving it 3 or 4 extra years. I should have done this 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
And when we hit 2, that was it. That was it. Every hits their spot at some point, and that was ours. When you like it just slays me. Well, you need qualifiers closer to us, or you need this, or you need that. Well, you know, everybody's under the same set of circumstances.
Right.
Yeah, we only had 1 Eastern qualifier, but we also had a qualifier in Kentucky, which is not that far, and I got a fair amount of Eastern people coming down to Kentucky to qualify. And I like Deb. I've always liked Deb, and she's had some physical challenges, and I appreciate that. But at a certain point, you have to make a decision. And when we held, we must have held 12, 15 qualifiers around the country, at least, and we got 2. Yeah, that's enough. At a certain point, you just go, all right, you convinced me. You talked me into it.
Now, coming from a different angle, being a sponsor, as I was for the first time of the event, I couldn't personally be happier with the event and how it personally benefited me. You know, my ROI versus my investment was amazing. And I have you and Denise to thank for that. So as a sponsor of the event, I really enjoyed it. I liked watching the women arm wrestle. I think the women are far more entertaining. No, I don't mean that in a perverted sense. I just think I like the heart. I like the emotion that goes into their matches. So for me, it was disappointing to see that you were going to an open class because, quite honestly, Autumn was looking to start training and going to qualify for next year. But because she's so light, I won't let her pull against someone that's 176, 180 pounds. It's just unrealistic. But I understand where you're coming from.
If I just cut the light and went to 176, I'm shot or hung. Because at that point, all right, I took away the lightweight class,
right?
And I kept the 76. But then, oh, by the way, the ladies open still can't compete. I was shot or hung, whatever decision I made.
I think as a businessman, you made the right choice for the event. I think overall, I agree with the decision that you made to do an open class. You know, I think you had to make a decision and take the good with the bad, and I think you made the better decision.
Yeah, people. Denise and I have been doing this a long time. We started promoting in 1985, and back in 1985. There was a demand for a ladies 121 class. There was a demand for ladies 143. There was a demand for ladies 176 and open. We ran 4 ladies classes back then. 4 of them. We did Petaluma with 4 ladies classes, and unfortunately over time the demand just has kind of fallen off, and there's very few women at 121 pounds and below competing nowadays. And it's not just that. Like the men, our 135 class used to be one of our better weight classes, and now it's pretty dang hard to find a guy 135 pounds. We used to regularly fill 10 entries at 135 just on regular events. It was a regular weight class.
Now, a lot of people say the reason why the attendance and the class quality of competition has dropped is because of the payouts. Now, I don't see where people say the quality of competition has dropped when you have people like Storm Chelino, Daniel Moisier showing up, and just dominating Jeff Hale. That's some pretty top-notch talent, if you ask me. And that's just here in the country, not to mention who came over from other countries. So
I think the level of competition has actually gone up over time, not down. It's just that the makeup, there just isn't that many ladies competing anymore. I mean, you look at results around the country, and it's all about numbers, and there just isn't that many competing anymore. And part of it is a risk of injury. Like I have ladies talk to me. So if I do this, what is my risk of injury? Well, Ray, I can't lie to them. I got to give it to them straight up.
Right.
Women have a 10 times higher chance of injury than men.
Absolutely.
How do I hide that? I can't hide it. I gotta be honest with them. But it is effective for people nowadays. And when you look at the number of serious injuries, which the only one we really have is a broken arm, a serious injury. Almost as many women get hurt as men. Well, then you look at the number of men competing as opposed to women, and there's at least 10 times as many men competing in tournaments as women. And with a 1-to-1 ratio, that means you're 10 times higher chance of getting hurt. So the fear of injury also, sometimes they don't like standing up in front of a crowd, and so that you lose a few that way. And then, but boy, when they do, they hate to lose. I mean, they're the most fiercest competitors out there once they actually get up there and do the sport. So it is exciting, and I do like seeing them there. But it is what it is. There's only so much I can do.
Another thing I wanted to talk to you about, Leonard, because actually it was through talking with you at the Arnold, it got me to change my perspective and my mind on this topic. At the Arnold, we were talking about transgender athletes and women, formerly men, competing in the women's class. And part of our conversation was one of the ladies that was working the booth that was an RN. And we were discussing, bone thickness and this and that. But I have to say, after listening to you and listening to your point of view and how you base the facts, I too have jumped on board, and I've actually allowed Robin Chandler to have a super match at an event that's being put on for my son. What if any influence came on you to make you decide to go along with the viewpoint of allowing transgender to compete?
Well, some of it has to do with just educating myself a little bit on the subject, to give her credit or give her the blame. Part of that was forced onto it by Robin. Like she's not the first transgender that's been in our sport. We had a person that went the other way. It went from female to male, but nobody seemed to really think too much about that. But when Robin came around, I actually did have to look into it, and I did have to maybe educate myself a little bit more than I felt comfortable with at first. And I looked at exactly what the Olympic Committee was doing, and I'm the last person to say that everything that the Olympics does is proper and right, but it is the premier sporting organization in the world. And so I look at, all right, so what are their decisions? How are they handling them? Having the surgery is a big deal. And once they've had the surgery, that's a totally life-altering experience. And then what your body isn't producing testosterone the way it was before because of the surgery, and hormone treatments, and lower, your estrogen and all the rest of those things, and length of time after surgery, and what is your testosterone level at that point after a certain amount of time, and those all play into it. The age of the athlete plays into it too, of course. But so basically, after looking at everything that the Olympics has made rulings on and how they've evolved themselves, we Denise and I, with the United States Arm Wrestling, have adopted the basic Olympic standards. And once they've had surgery and a certain amount of time has gone by, and their testosterone level is at a documented level for a certain amount of time, then yeah, they're in the ladies class. There's no easy answers to any of this stuff. So
right.
That doesn't mean that that I think I'm totally right or somebody else is totally wrong. There's no easy answers, but when you run an organization, you have to make a decision. You have to you have to come to an agreement on how you're going to deal with things, and that's what we've done. But it is a difficult decision what to do and how to deal with it.
And I agree. As you know, I've been building Country Crush from nothing to a semi, household name. So I totally understand about making decisions and not being able to please everybody. With that, Leonard, I just wanted to say thank you, brother, for coming on the show and spending some time with us and giving us your perspective on what's going on. Is there any events you got coming up that you want people to know about?
Well, we have the Motherload event that's coming up in Reno, and oddly enough, or maybe not oddly, but the bodybuilding show there is allowing us to be at their halftime for a 10-minute demonstration of arm wrestling.
Nice.
So we have our own professional event there, and they're allowing us on their stage in front of their main audience to showcase arm wrestling, and we're actually looking for 2 ladies to do a super match there. So if there's any ladies that's interested in going to that event that want to do a challenge match against each other on stage, we have 10 minutes. So the concept is I have 2 super matches we're going to do. And so we have match 1 going up with 2 people, and then when they have their match, and their 60-second rest is taken up by the other match. So there's no downtime, and so we just go back and forth between the 2 matches. So we're trying to build it as the Beauty and the Beast, so to speak. If there's some other ladies that would like to be there and showcase their talents, we would love to have them there.
And again, what state is this in again, Leonard?
That's in Reno, Nevada, and I don't have the. I'm not where my computer is. So.
Oh, no problem. I just tagged a bunch of people to contact you. You know, because I know that Veronica had put on a nice showing at the Arnold against Abby, and you know, Shallon is just an amazing athlete. And of course, I'm forever champion promoter for Autumn. So we'll get the word out. Also, I would like to officially announce Michael Todd's already put the flyer out, but Country Crush is sponsoring the Monster Michael Todd Invitational this November. This is a USAA event. This is an Arnold qualifying event. And then, of course, with God's blessings and talks with Leonard and Denise, I will be sponsoring the Arnold Classic along with MSTV next year.
That Reno event is at the Grand Sierra Resort, and that is April 12th.
Grand Sierra Resort, April 12th. Got it. Leonard, again, brother, thank you so much for coming on and filling everybody in. And again, if there's ever anything we can do to help promote arm wrestling, yourself, the league, please let us know.
Anytime you want me back, just let me know.
Thank you, sir. We will. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. That was Leonard Harkless, former head referee of the WAF, telling it like it is, filling us all in. Now we have this man here. He's been chomping at the bit.
You're tripping, dude. Okay.
Actually, he's been taking fucking dab hits.
That's right.
What's up, Brandy? Share all news here. Open postings for Arm Sports. Thank you, Jay Carlisle.
Okay. So what's the difference between Amy Winehouse and Captain Morgan?
I don't know. What is the difference between Amy Winehouse and Captain Morgan?
Amy Morgan.
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse doesn't come alive when you add Coke.
That might have been a funny joke, but the fact that he fucked it up was funnier.
Fuck you. It's your fault you took too goddamn long. No. Anyway, okay. So let's get into the movie review.
All right.
All kind of people were asking, what's Black Mass? Is that some kind of interracial porno they're talking about?
Okay, first, before we start.
Black Mass is a true story of an unholy alliance between the FBI and the Irish mob.
I just got a simple question for everybody.
What?
Real quick, by thumbs up, I want to know how many people have seen or actually watched the movie for today's show. Give me a thumbs up if you've seen or actually watched Black Mass for tonight's show.
First off, folks, he called it The Black Hand. So how many people even knew what the hell the movie was?
Well,
okay, I didn't even know what it was. I almost watched the wrong movie. The Black Hand.
Coincidentally, I do happen to know both things about both movies. Black Hand was about the LMA, the Mexican Mafia.
Yeah.
Because I was a study of criminal law.
Yeah, he's just a study of criminals in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew about the Black Hand because, I don't know, he knew the Black Hand. And, anyway, his hand is black. No, come on now, touch what kind of comments do you have, sir?
I don't know, right here. Just hit that, yeah. We sent as...
We aren't as think as you stone we are.
Exactly.
Exactly. He said, please see the Black Hand. And he's like...
All right, so the movie was The Black Mass, starring Johnny Depp.
And again, it was the true story of an unholy alliance between the FBI and the Irish mob. Okay, the story of James Whitey Bulger and how he became an informant for the FBI while continuing his criminal enterprise with impunity.
With puberty.
Okay, so anyway, what did you think about it, sir? Because I know you just love criminal enterprise movies. No, you just love true stories.
They are motivational.
Yeah, he does love motivational speeches. No, I had a dream. I had a Whitey dream.
I had
a dream about a Whitey. I mean, oh, sorry. Okay. No, anyway, he had a dream about Whitey.
I wondered if it was any relation to the Sugar Hill Gang.
Okay.
A beat, a bop, a hip,
It was the Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, it was the Whitey Hill mob. I mean, it was the what was his name of his mob? Boy, did you even watch it, or were you that stoned? And he was falling out on that movie too, by the way.
No, I wasn't.
How many movies were we falling out on, Ray?
A lot. Anyway,
Okay.
I forget right now. But you asked me what I thought of the movie. I didn't think we could say black anymore. Why not? Why the fuck can't we say black?
Hey, and you know
He's
what?
wearing a black shirt.
And
I'm in front of a black banner.
And
he's wearing a black hat. I'm wearing a black hat.
You saw Black History X last time. Okay, and all I'm saying is he was going to see the Black Hand, and then he realized it was called Black Mass, and then he thought he was going to go to a church to see Black Mass. But then he realized it was a movie with Johnny Depp, and he said, okay.
So if you haven't figured it out, Michael Nance, this isn't your PC channel.
Okay.
No, we do not accept disrespect. We do not accept outright, blatant, harmful words towards anything, anyone. However, we do allow people, hold on, let me finish. We do allow people to say what they want to say within reason. This guy, all he wants to do is tell a fucking joke.
No, it's not a joke. I'm getting into the movie here.
Oh, we're getting into the movie.
This is only about the movie. We're not into jokes. I don't know why he always thinks it's about a joke. Life is not a joke.
I have a black.
That's an African-American hat. What, New Age performance? That's true.
True
that.
And David Thornton has a black thong on.
Oh, does he?
Are you filling it out?
Leonard Harkless.
What's up, Leonard Harkless?
Okay.
All right, come on, man. Let's get into the movie.
All right. Now, according to quite a few insiders from the Winter Hill mob, the only factual part of the film was Whitey or Johnny Depp's receding hairline.
Well, and the fact that he hated being called white.
Right. But a lot of his criminal cohorts did not appreciate how stupid or bloodthirsty they were being portrayed, as a lot of the people received lesser sentences by rolling over on the others. But after digging in, a lot of the underlying facts are pretty much true, and how he got his nickname and how he hated it, and how he was in and out of the correctional system, including Alcatraz. Some of the specifics I verified was Whitey and Connolly did meet his kids. When Whitey was 8 and Connolly was 19, he bought him ice cream for all his friends, and later that same year, Bulger stopped the bully from picking on him. But Kevin Bacon, you know Kevin Bacon and his character?
Yes.
That was made up.
That was
all made up.
Okay.
There was no such person. Okay, but that was the only thing I could find that was made up. Everything else was true. Bulger did take LSD in prison some 50 times. He volunteered for it.
I would have,
in order to take a lesser sentence.
I would have done it.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Basically, he was an FBI informant that helped take down the rival gang, but that basically helped to further his criminal enterprise.
Exactly.
Okay, so basically that was it. I mean, what did you think of the film overall, bud?
Me overall, I personally loved the film.
What did you love about it, though? I mean, seriously.
Well, because of my, I'm from New England. I'm from New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
According to family stories, which as of recent events, I'm finding out my family's full of shit. So I don't even know if I want to fucking mention that. But let's just say because I'm
Go ahead, John. Thanks, bud.
Hey, take care, man. Because I'm from that area, I always taken interest in anything that's connected to the area that I'm from. Did I realize it was embellished? Yes. But being from there and hearing the legends of him, they weren't, the rumors, the legends of him was not that far off from what they portrayed him as in the movie.
Okay.
That's pretty much what I'm saying. So for me, I give a thumbs up on the movie.
Okay. I give it a high thumbs up as well. Okay. What do you think of Johnny Depp's performance in particular?
So I personally love Johnny Depp as an actor. I think he is a great character actor.
So you love Pirates of the Caribbean?
Loved his character, him personally, in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes, I like it overall as a movie. No. Loved Willy Wonka, but did not like Cat in the Hat. Loved Edward Scissorhands. Hell, dude, I even loved him as a fucking gay teen back on 21 Jump Street.
He wasn't gay.
Whitey Bulger. I got a whitey bulgy going on right now.
I got a whitey bulge on my pants right now.
What, you have friends over, David? Anyway, who says this white man ain't got jokes? But no, I like Johnny Depp overall as an actor. I think he's an amazing actor, character actor. I also like the guy who played Conley.
Johnny Depp's a shitty actor. At least that's what Amber heard.
Who?
His wife, Amber Heard.
Oh.
Anyway, whatever. Whatever, dude. Okay, whatever.
Whatever.
Okay, so did you hear about the man who died eating Rocky Mountain oysters?
No, I have not heard about the man who died about eating Rocky Mountain oysters.
The bull must have drug him for a mile.
Oh, shit. You got a black mask going on. That's a good...
I got a black mask on my face.
Bro, he was awesome in the movie Blow, and I liked that movie so much because I was a fucking crackhead. So I actually knew the real George.
What do you call what do you call a cheap circumcision? A ripoff.
My question is, why does he tell that joke that immediately reaches for my crotch?
I didn't touch your crotch.
Okay, I didn't say you touched my crotch.
My God, dude, now he's bullshitting.
Okay.
What do you call a deaf gynecologist?
Oh, fuck.
A lip reader.
Lip reader. Hey.
I added Paul.
Wait a minute.
I added Paul Walker on Xbox, but he spends all his time on the dashboard.
On the dashboard lights. Okay, so that's going to bring me into my Mad in America moment.
What was David Bowie's last hit? Probably heroin. Ow! Jesus Christ. Oh, that hurt. Dang.
I didn't feel a
What,
fucking
did you
thing.
kick me? No, anyway. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So here's my Mad in America moment.
His Mad in America moment.
So I don't give a flying F because it's already been put out there. So there's a gentleman out there by the name of Kodiak Chris Beecham from Canada, eh?
Good day.
Fancies himself as a champion arm wrestler, and he's good. I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about the man. I couldn't beat him. He'd fucking rip my arm off personally.
Good day.
So, anyways, I sent this man literally damn near every product that I make except for the Raptor handle. Sent it to him free of charge. I paid for the shipping. Because of me, he got all his top roller handles sent to him for free. Until he opened his mouth today, there was a table on its way until Brady Ellis stopped the shipment of that because he opened his mouth about Brady Ellis. Listen, guys, I'm not the kind of person that you're going to intimidate or talk shit about. Notice I put everything up there. My wife put everything out there. We screenshotted the conversations, hate us, like us, agree with our lifestyle, don't agree with our lifestyle. We don't give a flying fuck. Okay. It has nothing to do with my business and it has nothing to do with Country Crush. I am a man of my word, but like everybody else, sometimes life happens and shit doesn't quite go the way you want it to go. Like my first sponsorship was supposed to be February. I was about a week or so late, but I got them paid. I got them what I promised them, just like the next athlete's going to get what they were promised. Sometimes you have to take into consideration, especially when you're a beggar and all you do is put your fucking hand out. You have to take into consideration that sometimes life is happening. Like, when your ass was getting evicted, one of the multiple times you have been evicted since I've known you, or your vehicle is busted down for the 100th fucking time. I've offered my home. I've offered money to you. I've even offered, matter of fact, as you can clearly verify with Chris, we were actually planning a trip up there, driving there to visit and whatnot. We were actually going to surprise you by showing up to your event that you have with Dallas Hogan. But now that ain't gonna fucking happen. And this man has no reason to lie. He doesn't fucking know you, nor does he give a fuck about who you are. So with that being said, you know, Kodiak said he made videos. He prayed for me when I was sick. You know, he claims to be a fucking Christian. Well, you know, last time I checked, you don't do things in expectance of repayment. You don't throw praying for somebody up in their face. So with that, guys, I'm going to end on this Mad in America moment. If you are a broke ass fucking bitch who can barely support the fucking family they have without begging for free shit, you shouldn't throw stones. You shouldn't sit there and judge a person's lifestyle after they tell you no, because you didn't care about that lifestyle when you were getting free shit. So to me, from me to you, my rating of Kodiak Chris Beecham and the fucking Smash Factory, I don't know, what's your rating? I'm giving him a big fuck you. And I don't give a fuck what people think about it. What's up? Watching this in between my sets at the gym. LOL. What's up, Ty? Owner of Abominable Grip Talk. You can go to countrycrush.net and get it for $23.99. That is the price with shipping included for domestic orders. So that was the Mad in America moment.
All right.
All right. What's up, man? What are we going to talk about next? What's on the fucking agenda? Chris jokes.
What do a
Autumn's
woman
not here, so
what do a woman's pussy and a chainsaw have in common?
oh shit.
Missed by a few inches and you're in deep shit. Why do women always have sex with the lights off?
Oh,
They never want to see a man have a good time. Come on.
you know, when people call me,
Why is being in the military?
I don't like lifestyle. They make crappy condoms.
Why is being in the military like a blowjob? The closer you get to discharge, the better you feel.
Jesus.
How are women like swimming pools?
Oh, how?
They cost a great deal of money to maintain, considering the time you spend inside.
Oh my goodness.
What? How did the leper hockey game end? There was a face-off in the corner. What? That's a good one.
Am I not laughing?
Why did Stephen Hawking's do one line?
Good stuff goes a long way. Hey guys, what's up, Carlo?
Why did Stephen Hawking do one-liners? Because he couldn't do stand-up.
I don't know who Steve. Oh, that fucking
Guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, I got you.
Real men don't wear pink. They eat it.
How many vaginas in your life, bro, that you've eaten were actually pink?
Hundreds.
Really?
It's all pink inside.
So he's saying he's eaten
How is having fun with a prostitute?
hundreds of vaginas that were pink.
How is having fun with a prostitute like bungee jumping? You're dead if the rubber breaks.
Thanks for the awesome handle. Love the Raptor. Carlo, glad you like it, brother. Chris told me so many Michael Jackson jokes the other night I couldn't breathe.
Ha! What do a pizza boy and a gynecologist have in common? They both smell, but they can't eat it. They both smell it, but they can't eat it. Come on.
I'm feeling raped. I'm feeling violated.
What do farmers and pimps have in common?
What do farmers and pips have in common? God damn it.
The need for hoes to stay in business.
The need for hosts to stay. All right. So because
because Autumn's not here, I'm gonna have to tell this one.
oh fuck.
If she was here, I wouldn't say this. How is pubic hair like parsley? You push it to the side before you start eating.
I manscaped, so I wouldn't know.
It's one. Oh my God, dude. You eat it. Oh my Lord. Let's just frickin'. I'm out of here. Play America. No. What the fuck?
There's a fucking image for you.
America, how do you get 15,000 followers immediately? Run through Africa with a bottle of water. What's the difference between a hippie chick and a hockey player? A hockey player showers after 3 periods. What's the difference between acne and a Catholic priest? Acne usually comes on a boy's face after he turns 12. What do you call a teenage boy who doesn't masturbate?
Gay.
A liar! What's the best part of a blowjob? 10 minutes of peace and quiet.
Only 10 minutes, huh?
Yeah, from the woman, yeah. After death.
Only 10 minutes.
After death, what is the only organ?
No wonder he's single.
What do you call it? Oh, fuck you. Who said that?
I did.
Oh, you bastard. Oh, man, I'm going to kill this guy. Oh, this motherfucker. Oh, this bastard. Oh, we're going to, okay.
Oh, fuck.
First, wait. He's right. No, but personally, I hope death is a woman. That way.
Changing to 96. Why inflation costs?
Oh, my God. Personally, I hope death is a woman. That way it'll never come for me.
Oh. You don't specify.
Oh my God, Chef.
Okay, so as I was trying to say.
Yeah, okay, here's this for your Donald Trump fans. This is for him because he's one of those big Donald Trump fans. I have to say this, America. I don't care. Oh, okay, well, he's going to get pissed, but I don't care. For you big Donald Trump followers, you know who you are. What does Donald Trump's hair and a thong have in common? They both barely cover an asshole. Okay, go ahead.
So much like Donald Trump, I'm going to say fake news because he's wearing a fake-ass shirt of a fake-ass gangster wannabe rapper.
Oh, come on. Make my shit the crime.
Motherfucker.
I want to get fucked up.
Fucking suburbia, wasn't struggling. He's a fucking lop. Ike, are you doing 10 this week? Tren? I don't believe he does Tren. Oh, 10. Yeah, eating pussy in China means something completely different. All right, so because Autumn, the beautiful disaster Cody, cannot be here today, we don't actually have the Autumn Cody 15 minutes. So I'm going to take that over and what we got going on. So June 8th, we have the first qualifying Country Crush deadlift event that's going to be held at 11 p.m. here in Tehachapi, California. John Waddell will put up or David Thornton or Ike Ford, anybody who's on there, can put up the link for that event. We're also still looking for registries for the Magnus Magnuson seminar, $100 to pre-register. You just go to paypal.me/Country Crush Deadlift. Otherwise, if you decide to do it the day of, you're paying $150. Bucks.
What the fuck?
$150.
What the fuck?
Never heard of Tren? Me either. Or Deca.
Will do. All right.
So with that being said, Autumn's training's going good. When she gets back tonight, she will be doing upper body.
What do you call a man who cannot stand? Kneel.
Okay.
There's a lot more, man.
What do you call a woman with no arms, no legs in the ocean? Fucked.
What the?
I have people wanting to go to the seminar. I've passed on the info. Awesome. We need to get 60 people, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really not trying to put out that much money out of my own pocket to get them here. I don't mind assisting a little bit, but really trying to get the most of it with what I'm sponsoring with Michael Todd and plus sending Autumn to Russia. And I ain't gonna lie, money's tight. Plus I have my athletes I need to worry about. So, if you guys know of people who want to sponsor the whole thing, Anthony Joe, somebody tag Anthony Joe in this. Let's see, let me tag Anthony Joe. Anthony Joe is crazy.
Did you hear about the kidnapping at school?
No, I did not hear about
it. It's fine. He woke up. A Jew, a black man, and a Muslim are on a frozen lake, not talking to each other. So I thought I'd go over there and break the ice. Okay. What's the difference between a woman and a computer?
I don't know.
You can punch information into a computer.
All right, guys. Just
All
so
right,
y'all
guys,
know,
come on.
I do not screen these fucking jokes.
I know, that's what sucks, dude, because if he would, you know what I mean? Anyway.
He would never be saying them. Never.
Anyway, whatever. I'm done. So
I'm just fucking with you. Seriously. They're very fucking hilarious.
I know I'm done for the day.
You're done for the day?
Yeah.
He's done for the day, yeah. So what is the movie picked for? Now, listen, guys. Wednesday's not going to be a live show. Wednesday, we are going to record the show so that way it can be uploaded to our YouTube channel and you guys have something that you actually haven't watched here on
It'll
Facebook.
be a YouTube surprise. So what's Friday's
Friday? What's
suggestion?
the suggestion for Friday's movie?
That's right. Throw them out there.
Yay. Denny Stone lift for heaviest weight. That's awesome. Anthony Joe, what's up, brother? You crazy fucker. If you guys don't know who Anthony Joe is, follow him on Instagram, Nate Palm 750, I believe, and then Anthony Joe here on Facebook. So movie request. What movie are we reviewing for Friday?
At the end, 7 people tell us what movie to watch for Friday. Irish choice 8.
Okay, my choice is To Kill an Irishman, but that's another long movie, but it is a true story.
No plenty of time to watch it.
Yep. Anybody got any suggestions? Going once, suggestions going twice. Everybody like To Kill an Irishman? Or how about the Jack Wepner story? The guy who inspired the movie Rocky, who fought Muhammad Ali. We could do him. Chuck Wepner, sorry. We could do him. That's a good story. Boxing related, true story, Irish.
Okay. Damn.
All right, so you tell me. Take your choice.
Type it in.
All right, guys. This is going to be
The official choice.
the official choice. To Kill
A Mockingbird. No.
an Irishman. Boom. We got a comment. Chris is taking another dab hit. Bay of Pigs is a good one, yeah. Heat now. To Kill an Irishman is what we're going to go with, guys. So with that, signing off. Big Country Ray Cody, the Big D Chris Demos, Mad in America podcast. Look for us on our YouTube channel. The first episode is going to be up soon. Every Wednesday is going to be a recorded show. We will be live Mondays and Fridays, 3 p.m.-ish. We've got, what do we got coming up? Monday on 3/18, we have Chris Gobby. Chris Gobby will be on the show. We will be discussing the bottom 8. You and Uncle Roy's fucking cabin, brother. Jesus, I think I'm going to have to see if I got any left in stock and fucking just send you one. I never seen a man want to see my ass naked so bad. We got Chris Gobby on March 18th. We're going to be discussing the bottom 8, nutrition, training. We are not going to make this a political thing. This is just, his viewpoints on how he preps for an event and gets ready, because he does compete on what I consider a top level tier, and he's competed against the Europeans many times. So tune in next Monday, March 18th, with special guest Chris Gobby. Till then, guys, peace. Stay good. Stay loyal. Keep your head up. CountryGress.net.
All right.
Later. Bam.